Oh, Louis, one more thing, please. I wanted to thank you for your support during the conference. You've made the right choice, and it gives me tremendous satisfaction to have you with me on this project.
What is at stake is worth it, my lord. Now, I won't hide from you the fact that I have no idea by what miracle we could ever get a unanimous vote.
Trust me, Louis. We still have a few more cards to play. You'll see. Anything can happen in politics.
I'll see you later, my lord. Which four-letter word could open this chest?
I'll see you later. Yes.
Your guess is not sufficient. Tell the other, for crying out loud. Remember to close my window once you enter my room. This isn't Corsica, you know. I'm freezing.
Of course, sir. I'll see to it straight away.
Good. Proceed.
Yes, sir.
Monsieur Bonaparte.
Don't feel guilty over Monsieur Peru. You did your best. We just lost the vote for the next conference, and we already had fewer votes than Holm. I must absolutely find a solution.
Excuse me, sir, but given recent events, I find it somewhat cavalier to return to your political preoccupation so quickly.
Yes, I know. You must find me inhumane. But what can I do? We are here to decide upon the fate of our nations, Louis. It is time you realize what is at stake here. I hold nothing against Monsieur Peru personally, but what concerns me most right now is to not lose sight of the objectives of this meeting. In short, we haven't a minute to lose. I'll leave you now.
Just a minute. What did Duchess Hillsborough propose last night?
Oh, nothing worth worrying about. The pretty little pudding eater found no better tactic than to threaten me. She would have been better off sliding into my bed. At least we wouldn't have wasted part of the night talking for nothing.
Threatened you, you say?
That's what I said. I think I'm going to have to be careful of English troops crisscrossing the Mediterranean for a while. The witch would let loose the wrath of the English crown on my august person. But if she thinks that would scare a Bonaparte, she is mistaken. Now, Louis, time is running short, and as I said, I'm in a hurry. I have to go now. I will see you later.
I am sorry, sir, but you are unable to access Monsieur Peru's room while we gather his personal effects.
Monsieur Napoleon Bonaparte. No answer. Nothing. Emily? Emily, are you there? Emily!
Yes. Louis, is that you?
Yes, let me in.
I'm sorry, Louis. I don't feel very well. I'll see you later.
Are you sure everything's all right? Are you still there?
Emily? Emily, are you there?
Emily!
Yes. Louis, is that you?
Yes, let me in.
I'm sorry, Louis. I don't feel very well. I'll see you later.
Are you sure everything's all right? Are you still there?
Duke Manuel Godoy.
Monsieur de Richet, I have no time. I was about to join Sir Gregory. Come back later.
All right, I'll be off then. Thank you. Monseigneur, His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi. President George Washington. Carmelite water. They say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost. Your Eminence.
Ah, Louis. You were Admiral. I didn't manage to save Peru. But whatever you do, don't blame yourself. You did your best.
Thank you, Your Eminence.
It's not going to help matters for Mortimer. Now he has one less vote for the conference.
You don't seem too affected by it, though.
I do not appreciate it. I will put to the indiscretions of youth. I am here in the interests of the Holy See. But I am above all a Christian, and it hurts me to see lost souls.
Of course. Of course.
I hope that Monsieur Perry's act will help you reconsider your choice. Sincerely, see where his support for Lord Mortimer got him. And what will your mother say when she finds out that you have triggered a war with your amateur diplomacy? This cannot be serious, really.
Thank you for your advice, Your Eminence.
Think nothing of it. See you later. Excuse me, my son, but I would like a few moments to gather my thoughts. We shall perhaps meet later.
My dear Elizabeth, I'm writing. Monsieur Johann van Volnau.
What do you want from me, de Richet? Get on with it. I'm busy.
What a tragedy about Mr. Peru.
Are you joking? That bonehead had it coming to him.
How can you say that?
Ever since I found out that footprints incriminating him were found next to Elizabeth's body. You can be sure that given the opportunity, I would have put a bullet in his mouth myself.
I wanted to speak to you about the conference.
Listen, you chose your side. You had every possible reason to make the right choice, but you preferred to commit yourself to Mortimer. Good luck, because it's a lost battle. The subject is closed. Anything else?
As I was passing by your room, I wondered if you'd made any progress with your search for the Al-Azif.
Do you remember our little discussion last time, Derichet?
Indeed, I do.
So, please go straight to hell and stop wasting my time.
Excuse me, this is the wrong room.
I am sorry, sir, but you are unable to access Monsieur Peru's room while we gather his personal effects.
My dearest son, I'm writing to implore you to act quickly. Next time, I'll listen to my mother. Not a day has gone by without something happening to me. What now?
Louis, open up, please.
Coming, Mr. President, I'm coming!
Louis. Ah, there you are at last.
Yes,
I just saw your mother. She was accompanied by Emily, and they both went into the Duchess's room. I tried to join them, but I was refused entry. Louis, this does not bode well.
Oh, shit. Emily might want to avenge your sister. I must act quickly. You're right, Mr. President. Thank you.
Ma, bueno,
Yo, ¿cómo estás?
bien, ¿qué pasó?
Nada, mi amor. Tú me dijiste que te hablara.
No, a mí me salió que usted me invitó a poner la cámara.
Yo,
Sí, es que yo creo le apretó a algo.
deja pagar esto. Yo te dije,
Sí, me apareció aquí, es que usted le apretó a algo.
"Ey, no, hijo, yo hasta rato vi, estaba bien. Y
Bueno,
ahorita dice, habla por videochat.
sí,
¿Sabes?
no,
Estúpida.
sí, ma. Bueno,
Digo, yo algo le moví,
ujú,
¿verdad?
sí,
¿Estás bien?
sí, mamá, estoy bien. Aquí estoy jugando Nintendo.
I do believe that's Emily's voice. I can't understand what she's saying. Emily! Emily, are you there? Answer me! Emily! I can't open it. It must be blocked on the other side. I'll have to find another way in, quick. I have to get inside Emily's room through the... Shit! It's locked. It's as if there are several people inside.
Once again, you're the one who's the victim in all this. What are you on about now? I should never have told you what happened to me. That's how it works, and you know it full well. I'm not that naive.
The elder addressed to Emily.
Stop.
He was the Loretta from William the Younger addressed to Emily. He's the present.
What on earth is... You... Mother?
How dare you do this to me? You can talk. After everything I've done for you. You are joking, I hope. Right? I gave you my life. That's enough, Emma. Now that Louis is here, you will leave Sarah alone. Cease your revenge immediately. What? If you think you're going to help me, I beg you. I can no longer reason with her. I am Emily. Quit playing games. What? Honestly, don't be ridiculous. No. I am Emily. You are wasting your time. Louis knows very well how to tell us apart. After everything we've been through together.
Yes, well...
Don't you dare bring him into this. This is between you and me. I ask for nothing more, so stop taking it out on Sarah. You see bitch. How dare you? Now that I've told you everything, you want to take my place, do you? You are joking, I hope. I'm the one who told you everything that's been going on while you were away. Go on then. That's what you want, isn't it? You want to kill me. Go on then. Shoot. After all the trouble I've gone through to find you. Go on. What are you waiting for? Here, Louis, take this.
Wait, what's going...
An entire life for this. Go on, shoot. Sorry, Louis, I can't shoot her. She's my sister. That's enough, Emma. Louis, out of the way. She's dangerous. Don't trust her. What are you trying to do? Louis, out of the way! I am not Emma! Come on, Louis, tell her who the real Emily is.
Wait,
That's right, Louis. I'm fed up with this little game. Tell him who the real Emily is.
Why do these things always happen to me?
Well, Louis, come on, you know how to tell us apart, right?
Yes, but I'd like to ask you a few questions to make sure there's no doubt.
Rational and open, Louis. Let's see. How can I tell them apart? Wait, I've got an idea.
On the night of our arrival... You handed me something. I wasn't feeling very well, and you handed me something. What was it?
My handkerchief, and you stained it with your blood. You still have it, as a matter of fact. But she already knows all this, Louis. It's a waste of time.
Right. Let's find something else. Ah, yes. Let's speak about my arrival at the manor.
On the night of our arrival, we were warming ourselves in front of the fire. Mortimer welcomed us in a very odd way. What happened?
It won't work, Louis. It wasn't Mortimer who welcomed us. It was Sir Gregory. Sorry, Louis. I already told her.
Very well.
Let's try something else.
On the first night, we went up to bed, but I wasn't tired. I went for a little stroll. Do you remember if we saw each other that night or not?
No, not after going up to bed. That doesn't prove a thing. I was the one who told you that. Don't think you're going to get away with this deception so easily. I can assure you, you're going to regret pretending to be me once Louis has exposed you.
Right. I don't think I'll get very far like this. I'll have to find something better.
Oh, I don't think I'll even wait until he's finished.
Take it easy now.
Are you mad, Louis?
Lower your arm.
I better act quickly if I don't want things to get out of hand.
Come on, she's putting one over on you. Look at yourself for crying out loud. You were prepared to shoot me down.
In the secret room behind the study. Talk to them about what you've been doing. Maybe they haven't spoken about it between each other yet.
On the night of the disappearance of Elizabeth Adams.
What about it? What do you want to know about that night?
We found ourselves in Mortimer's secret gallery. What relics did we find?
Property deeds in Mortimer's name dating from very long ago.
Is that all?
You mean all those mythological charms? So there was the so-called Pandora's box that wasn't a box, actually. The famous golden fleece that reeked of dead goat. A broken sword that could have belonged to anyone. Is that enough?
Yes, that's enough.
You look captivated. Of course, he bought it. That's enough! I've had enough of this charade. Louis, there's only one way to tell us apart. There's just one thing I didn't tell her about in detail. Too bad for you, Emma. I didn't want it to come to this, but you leave me no choice. Ask her about you and I. You just lost, Emma. I indeed didn't tell you everything about it. Come, Louis. Speak about our intimacy.
Very well. Let's talk about us. When you came to my room last night, what did we talk about?
I beg your pardon, but I didn't go into your room last night. There you are. The mask is off. What do you mean? Sorry, Emma. I didn't tell you everything.
She's right.
You little bitch. She is manipulating you, Louis.
That's enough, both of you. Now I know who the real Emily is. You are Emily Hillsborough.
I knew you wouldn't get it wrong, Louis. No! You little bitch! Watch out, Louis! No!
Hell, what have I done?
See what you've done. See.
Louis? What on earth is going on?
Mother!
Go. You must leave. Everyone's going to arrive.
Louis, what's going on?
Duchess? Is everything all right?
Go! Go, Mother! No one must find you here.
Go.
Come, Louis. There's nothing more you can do.
But I...
Leave us.
Emily, what's going on?
Mother, go to the crypt. I'll meet you there.
I'll be waiting for you.
Emily.
Madam, I'm coming in.
It was bound to end like this, Louis. Let me stay with her, please. Go, I'll cover you.
Good God! They're all here. They must have heard the gunshot.
Where is Lord Mortimer?
Can anyone hear anything through the door?
Monsieur Johann van Volner.
Did you hear that? I was not dreaming, was I?
Certainly not, Duke Godoy.
What's going on?
Someone had the bang coming from the Duchess's room, and she isn't answering. Gentlemen, go back to your rooms. Go back to your rooms. I shall find out from Lord Mortimer what this is all about. Thank you.
My instructions are clear, sir. No one is to enter.
Monsieur Napoleon Bonaparte.
What can I do for you, sir? I am at your service day and night, sir.
As I was unable to bring my personal effects with me, I was wondering if you could find me a few items.
Of course, sir. What would you require?
A little Carmelite water would do me a lot of good. Could you find me some, please?
Oh, the tonics are under lock and key, sir. Lord Mortimer only allows access to them in cases of emergency.
I still haven't quite recovered after that boat crossing. Would you happen to have any devil's thorn by any chance?
I am sorry, sir, but the devil's thorn may be just a plant, but it is also a powerful psychotropic drug that causes undesirable diuretic effects. I would advise against, sir, taking any.
You see, Tribulus cystoides is from the Zygophalaceae family, very rich in nitrates and potassium chloride. It was used in India 700 years before Christ, my good fellow. And I know nothing better to perk you up.
Oh, as sir wishes. Here is the herb, sir. May I help you in anything else, sir?
Louis! At last, there you are.
Mother, wait,
Come, we have to be quick.
No, wait, Mother,
Time is running out, Louis. First, we must...
No! That's enough. I won't go a step further unless you explain to me what is going on here. I'm begging you. Talk to me.
You must trust me, my son. You are not ready yet.
You are the one who should trust me. Tell me what's happening.
You would never believe me.
I came all the way here for you. Now I've found you. I'm ready, Mother.
If only... Louis, I have always taught you to keep your mind open and logical. I know you are going to find it hard to believe, but what I am going to reveal to you is entirely true. Many years ago, I found out that demons really do live among us.
I beg your pardon?
And that they can influence our thoughts.
Mother, listen to yourself. I know you're exhausted, but for crying out loud, listen to what you're saying. Demons? What next? An ancient monster with a head like an octopus? What do your demons look like? Have they got horns and a pointed tail?
No, these are not creatures with billy goat's legs. Forget your Christian folklore. Imagine them more as parasitic spirits. They possess their hosts and direct them from inside.
Parasitic spirits?
Yes, they are capable of going from one body to another as they see fit. And 2 of them are present on this island.
Right. So let me guess. Lord Mortimer and Sir Gregory, right?
You felt it too?
No, even if Home does look the part. But I don't know who else could do it, given that we're on their territory.
Many years ago, well before you were born, I crossed paths with one of them. Since then, I've spent my life trying to find it again. When we recovered the Alizif, I was persuaded that von Burchard was working for this demon in one way or another. But I thought he would hand the book to a middleman during this conference. That's where I made an error that could well turn out to be fatal. The one who Burchard was meant to give the book to was none other than the demon in person, Mortimer. Not to mention that Home had sent Volner to get it for him.
Home and Mortimer are demons?
They both seem to disagree about many things, but I'll admit I never knew exactly why. There are many of them, Louis. Not just those 2.
Mother, have you any proof to support any of this?
Of course, but you do too. You had everything laid out in front of you. Didn't you notice anything?
I went beyond the Nightmare, Mother.
You understood the Masonic date.
1191.
Of course! course, it was during that siege that the demon took possession of Sir Mortimer. They spent a whole night in conversation until the early hours of the morning. Mortimer had passed the test. He had charmed the demon, and so it chose him to be its host for centuries to come. But tell me, did you find his secret study?
I did indeed.
Did you see his maps of the world?
He has contacts the world over.
Yes, I've been developing the Golden Order across the world for many years, and I've never seen anyone with such influence. It's simply inhuman.
Well, those property deeds across the world, all signed by the same hand and over several centuries.
I am proud of you, Louis.
I found your notes written in lemon juice.
Where all eyes size you up. At one stage, I was so afraid of losing my mind that I noted everything down. Congratulations, Louis. Wait, please tell me you didn't open Pandora's box.
The urn? No, I didn't. Why?
Good. We'll deal with it later.
I must admit, I found it difficult to understand how and why Mortimer didn't have a place in history.
On the continent, Mortimer and Holm are mere dandies who organize society balls. History forgets them with a disconcerting facility. No one speaks about them, and yet they whisper in the ears of kings and presidents.
You mean the conference?
How can you explain that someone manages to bring together so many important figures without anyone knowing?
And without any security or personnel. You mean the conference?
How can you explain that someone manages to bring together so many important figures without anyone knowing?
And without any security or personnel.
Louis, I am proud of you. You came all this way. You found me. You have surpassed me.
You taught me everything I know. Right. How did it all begin?
I saw him.
What do you mean you saw him?
I was 20 years old. I was young and carefree. I traveled the world in search of adventure. In the Persian Gulf, we came across an ancient grimoire that became unlocked, composed of 7 parts. Each one was a book in itself, set in a sort of metal armor that structured the whole thing. When all the volumes were brought together, they formed a single book. On my return to Paris, I set to studying these pages. I spent all my days and nights studying them.
Oh, I can imagine you doing that.
But the writing was in a language I had never seen before, developed well before Sumerian in my opinion. So I got the idea to form a small occult circle composed of all the major names in the occult world to see if anyone else could crack it.
And you found no one.
And I found someone, Louis. I found him, or rather he found me. He was young, charismatic, he was flamboyant. He was a veritable mine of knowledge. I showed him the book, and he was able to decipher a few passages. We spent several months together studying the pages. He helped me understand certain passages until I realized that he only translated a few parts for me. But I had aroused his interest. It was too late.
How so?
I mean to say he manipulated me. He used me, and in the end, he stole the book with all its secrets.
Did he ever go to your place?
Not once. At least I don't think so. But before disappearing, he proposed a pact between us. He proposed that I follow him and let him teach me, allow him to bring me up.
And you accepted?
Please don't be stupid. You don't make deals with the devil. After that, I spent my whole life looking for him. 3 years later in Berlin, I just missed him. In London, I lost 6 members of the order in a chase. In 1741, in Tunisia, I found a sect of fanatics who had crossed paths with him once. 1741, in Poland. 1749, in India.
8 years ago in Venice.
We agreed never to speak about what happened in Venice, Louis.
You agreed, and that was before you spoke to me about demons. Wait, the baby we delivered, you and me, that night in Venice, did he have anything to do with Lord Mortimer?
The child was his son.
We stole his son? Are you insane? I always thought we took him to save him.
That was the case. It was precisely to save him from his father.
Need I remind you the mother died during childbirth? What became of the child?
Later. For the moment, that is not the key issue here. Once we found the Al-Azif in Paris, I followed von Borchart's trail here. I didn't think it would lead me straight to the demon. It was careless of me. He toyed with me for a few days, until I caught on, until I saw him as he was. But he had no intention of letting me leave. We are all his pawns, Louis, and if we don't want to spend the rest of our lives turning around in circles here, we must absolutely get off this island. All right, can we move on?
Wait a minute, one last thing. I want to know what happened with Elizabeth Adams.
Louis, we haven't time for those details.
I'm sorry, Mother, but I want to know.
She was one of the receptacles for these monsters. I met her parents when she was born. One of the demons got inside her. The demon used her to spy on her father, John Adams. He is one of the founding fathers and vice president of the United States, you know.
Mortimer possessed her?
No, I don't think it was Mortimer. Her father, John Adams, hired me to tend to her, but the evil in her was too deep. In spite of the various treatments I tried on her, I never succeeded in getting it out of her. It's not something I'm proud of, Louis, but I had to try everything.
Do you know who killed her?
Absolutely not.
What did you negotiate about the Al-Azif with Volner?
Absolutely nothing. I managed to pull the wool over his eyes until I found a way to flee.
What was going on with the cannons in Tuscany?
It was nothing.
Since when does the Order finance wars?
The cannons for that Bonaparte fellow? Listen. Once in the Lion's Den, I did whatever I could to appear legitimate. So yes, I pretended to be interested in Mortimer's project about a young military man who was seeking funding for a foundry in Tuscany. Between you and me, if buying China would have enabled me to escape, I would have signed without hesitation.
Are you going to tell me what happened to your hand?
Better than that, I shall show you.
On the evening of my arrival, Cardinal Piaggi came looking for you. He was determined to give you a letter.
More of his lists. Louis, I think I know what's in that letter, and I beseech you to believe that it is the least of our worries. We can sort that out later.
Samuel Ritter de Choix, you wanted to send me a letter about Godoy.
I wanted you to run a check on Duke Manuel, but frankly it doesn't really matter anymore now. Godoy is just a pawn like the others. He is not the one I was looking for.
I want to know what happened between you and Emily's sister.
Great responsibility often brings difficult choices, Louis. That's all you need to know.
Mother, I won't take a step further if you don't answer me.
You dare blackmail me?
I'm listening.
All right, I used her. So there you are. Happy now? We had the Al-Azif, and I didn't think we would be able to escape with it. In order to ensure that the book did not fall into their hands, or that one of them couldn't read in us where we had hidden it, I asked Emily to...
Emma.
Yes, or rather for me, it was Emily. So I asked Emma to hide it without anyone seeing. And then I disposed of her. I am sorry for her, but she was part of the Golden Order, Louis. She knew the rules when she joined.
Good. I think that's about right. We shall speak about it once we get back to France.
Great actions for humanity have been decided by demons for centuries, Louis. They are playing with our destiny. We are their slaves. And it's time for it to stop. By the way, what was Mortimer's project at this conference?
He wants the United States to occupy all the North American territory. France should recover Louisiana and give it to the United States. In that case, the Americans would just have to push west to chase the Spanish from the continent once and for all.
And as Mortimer controls Washington, you may just as well say that it will put him at the head of a world superpower. We should do our utmost to put a stop to Mortimer's plans. But for the time being, there are more pressing matters.
Are you going to tell me why we're here?
There. That's why we are here.
Reassure me, we aren't going to have to force that one, are we?
I don't think we're even capable of doing it. You're going to have to find a way to open it.
Why, of course. And what's inside?
Something to vanquish them with?
Perfect. So, how does it open?
We'll need several keys. I found a note from the architect who conceived the mechanism in Mortimer's secret study. We have to first gather 6 objects before we try anything.
Are your 6 objects the keys?
Exactly. We have the Clement III cross, the nails, the Gutenberg Bible, the exegesis of Judas, an armillary sphere, and all we need to match up the dates between the different calendars.
Why a cross?
Well, I haven't the foggiest idea. But it just so happens that's what you are going to use to activate the mechanism. I found the one Mortimer kept. It belonged to Cardinal Guibert, better known by the name of Pope Clement III.
Perfect. Where is it?
Unfortunately, I've lost it. When I lost my hand, I went dashing out, and it must have fallen from my pocket.
Remember, Mother. I'm certain you can remember.
Let me think.
You were running.
I was bleeding to death.
You remember the pain.
I thought I was going to faint. Yes, I remember. I don't think it can be far, can it?
Would you have lost it outside?
No, I don't think so. It must be in the area. I don't remember going up with it.
Perfect. I'll search the crypt before leaving. Some nails?
Don't ask me. I'm not the one who made the mechanism, you know. When I arrived, there were already a few of them inserted, so I didn't have to worry about those. On the other hand, I remember seeing some in Mortimer's secret study, behind his nightmare.
In a golden cup? Yes. Yes, I saw them too.
Perfect. It will be easy for you to find them then. You need 3 of them.
Very well.
You remember what to do about the rulers. 1191 to enter, and 6466 to exit.
Of course. Exegesis. Anything else?
Did you manage to vanquish the Medusa?
To open the chimney? Yes, absolutely.
So you've already come across it. It's the Bible of Judas that is exposed in the secret room behind the chimney.
Why do they call it an exegesis?
Because that's what it is, and not an apocryphal Bible, strictly speaking. It's the study of a text with a summary, not an actual Bible. Anyway, well done for the Gorgon. You did well. You didn't get tricked by the light bouncing back.
Thanks. Do you think I can take it safely?
We haven't got a choice. Without it, we won't be able to work out this cursed mechanism.
There's one in the portrait gallery.
That's right.
You still believe it's in the tower room, don't you?
I don't know. There is only one way to find out, though.
Right. I shall go and see. There's one in the portrait gallery.
Yes, but it's enormous. If you don't want to have to go back and forth several times, then I suggest you get a smaller one.
What did you do then?
I didn't think I'd need one. I started without one, and I lost my hand before I did need one. And you can see the result.
What do you mean by the concordance of dates, exactly?
Don't worry about that. We already have them. They are written on the back of the message I just gave you. One last thing before you go. Be very careful. If you come across anyone, they can all potentially be spies of Mortimer or Holm. Don't ever confide in anyone because a demon can slip inside them at any moment.
Wait, not all of them. Take Washington.
Especially Washington. He's been conditioned by Mortimer for years. Look at them for crying out loud. How do you explain their behavior otherwise? The most influential politicians in the Western world gather together without the least protection, without a single aid to assist them, to participate in a conference during which the guests start dropping like flies. Me, Adams, Peru, Hillsborough. Look at the number of calamities that have happened over the past few days. And not one of them has asked to leave the island? Do you find that normal? You'll see. Go up to the manor to look for the keys, and I wager not one of them will speak to you about my being in Emily's room.
Do you think so?
Go on, you'll see. And come back with all the objects in one go. Time is against us. And remember, the code to get out of the secret office is 6646.
What on earth is that? A disc with information engraved in the middle? An iris that should open, I imagine, and blood.
Mother? The dried blood. There.
Yes, it's mine. Sorry if I stained everything, but I must admit that at the time my thoughts were more on the pain than cleaning up after myself.
Did you succeed in opening this iris?
Yes, by putting the cross on the console and the 3 nails on the disc, the iris opens. It gives access to a hole where I put my hand, thinking I could fully open the iris. There's a handle at the bottom, and as you can see, it didn't turn out very well for me.
They're Roman numerals, Arab numbers, and town names.
Go on. I'm listening. What do you think?
famous cross of Claymont III.
Perfect. One key found.
Let's see if I can work it out myself. It looks like a kind of control panel. There's a cross-shaped slot there. I'd say you've got to place a Claymont III cross in it. It looks like certain mechanisms I've seen before. I wouldn't be surprised if I had to put the Claymont III cross in it.
You ought to go, Louis. If someone finds us here, the situation might well become seriously complicated.
Christ Crucified by Velasquez. Look, someone's left a note in the Song of Roland. Roland feeleth his death is near, his brain is oozing by either ear. With his brain oozing, it's already remarkable that he can feel anything.
Right. Let's see if the statues are in place yet. The sword toward the Gorgon, that's good. It's in the right place. The lantern is already in the right position, turned toward the shield. The lantern is already in the right position, turned toward the shield. Shield toward the sword. Now that's good. The statue is already in the right place. That statue is not positioned correctly.
Sesame.
Given all the relics preserved here, it wouldn't surprise me if Mortimer claimed it was Excalibur. Oh, looks like a pamphlet on different political regimes, written by Mortimer himself. Caesar's laurel wreath. If Mortimer really is what my mother says he is, it could mean... No, that's impossible. No, not Caesar. So that's Pandora's box? An urn? Mother seemed worried that I was able to open it. I wonder why. So, I did well not to touch it. So that's the exegesis of Judas. I hope Mortimer doesn't read it very often. Otherwise he's going to notice that someone stole it. But that's just too bad. I need it. The reign of the Nibelungen. Even if Mortimer is several centuries old, I don't see what part he has in this legend. Right. I've got what I need. Now let's not waste any more time. Right. It's definitely an armillary sphere, but I have to find one I can take with me. Otherwise, I risk drawing too much attention to my comings and goings. Now, where can I find a smaller one? His death is near. His brain is oozing by either ear. With his brain oozing, it's already remarkable that he can feel anything.
too short.
I beg your pardon?
About Peru this morning. I asked you if you weren't too shocked by it all.
And yourself? Not too shook up?
The only thing that matters to me about that stupid man in Peru is the disastrous situation in which it puts us for the conference vote. I wonder why Mortimer even allowed him to roam around the manor armed. He was a veritable public danger.
Indeed. You don't seem to be too affected. Tell me. I was wondering. You wouldn't know where to find an armillary sphere, would you?
Do you really think this is the right time? Oh, ask Volner. I am sure he will know. What with him being passionate about astronomy, you ought to get on fine together. Leave me now. I need to think of a solution.
I won't keep you any longer. See you later, monsieur.
Chronicles of the Amber Princess. As I recall, Dorkin was my favorite character.
God damn it, Dorishe! Are you joking or what? You sell me pipe dreams about Mortimer's project, and a few hours later, one of your allies completely breaks down. Is this what Mortimer's side is all about? What am I going to do now?
Come now, my Lord Duke. You know very well that at this level, things can get pretty rough. You ought to be used to it. Rest assured, Lord Mortimer has bounced back before. It's not an issue.
What can I do for you?
I'm dreaming. My mother was right. He's not going to tell me one word about what happened to Emily.
To tell you the truth, I'm in search of an armillary sphere. You wouldn't know where I can find it, would you?
Well. So you two have a passion for astronomy. Von Volner has already bored me quite enough with all of his endless stories. You ought to concentrate, Louis. Politics is an art that requires all one's attention. Refrain from spreading yourself too thin, and leave stargazing to the poets.
What can I say? I'm only...
Ask Volner. I'm sure he must have it among his effects.
Perfect.
Thank you, my Lord Duke.
Leave me now.
See you later.
an armillary sphere. Perfect. That will save me some time. I only hope that he isn't going to realize it right away. Signs of the Zodiac.
Louis, glad you're here.
Blast it. He's gonna talk about my mother.
Come and see what I've found. There are pieces of paper in the ashes of the chimney. Someone's been burning something here.
Incredible. He doesn't seem to want to speak to me about what happened between my mother and the Hillsborough sisters.
Show me a little.
Look, it's possible to distinguish two different writing styles.
The rest of the correspondence between my mother and Emma.
Someone tried to burn an exchange of messages. I'm certain. There must be more.
Shit. What on earth is he doing?
I see. I know what it's about.
Do you know who was doing their communicating in this room?
Yes, but of course we must keep it to ourselves, because it is still a sensitive matter. Volner and Elizabeth had an affair. Volner hinted that he found a way to remain discreet about it. I admit it is ingenious.
Well, I would never have guessed.
Delighted to have helped, but I still have to find my mother.
Of course. We shall see each other later in that case.
Wasted enough time. The Bible. Dante's Paradise. Raise your head and be reassured. For what comes up here from the mortal world must right where it is.
Hey, look, there.
No, I don't see anything.
Calm, Louis, look. Someone's clearly drawn a 4 in the dust. I have a clue.
I better take the Bible before he works his way back to it. Bible's still there.
Hey, look, there.
No, I don't see anything.
Come, Louis, look. Someone's clearly drawn a 4 in the dust. I have a clue.
He's going to be disappointed when he sees the Bible has disappeared.
Dear Mr. Pepper,
I have no space left. I'll retrieve it later.
Dear friend, please come and join us. We must meet about the ongoing operations in Paris.
King George III, coronation robes. Nice touch for the room of an English duchess.
Dear Eve, I received your last letter. Unfortunately, the Crown informed the Golden Order that our mission should under no circumstances hamper Sir Gregory's plans. Decidedly, they have support from the highest level in Buckingham Palace. So here we both are, hands and feet tied, and little room to maneuver.
A devil's thorn, to be used to uncover the best disguised traits.
on cue. Talking without thinking is like shooting without taking aim. I'm gonna have to think about that one. Prometheus, punished for stealing fire from the gods and giving it to man. His Holiness Pope Pius VI, by Pompeo Petoni. This should help Piaggio feel at home.
Probably that water will give me a little reprieve.
Destruction of the Temple of Jerusalem by Francesco Hayek. I have no time to lose, so I might as well not bother it.
My dear Giuseppe, poor health forbids me from joining you. Please thank Sir Gregory for his invitation to Lord Mortimer's. I'm convinced you'll be able to strengthen our agreements. Please tell Sir Gregory that his enterprise concerning our friend, Cardinal Bishop Chiaramonti, is following its course.
John the Baptist, youth with a ram, a Caravaggio. A very sensual vision and very far from the usual representations of St. John. Amber Christus, The Rape of the Daughters of Lysippus by Rubens. Surprising choice for His Eminence Piaggio. The Lying Girl by Boucher. Here's a painting of mischievous eroticism. I wonder what Piaggio must think of this. Love Triumphant by Caravaggio. Now there's someone for whom the sex of angels is no mystery. Venus and Cupid with a Satyr by Correggio. Innocence, indiscretion, and lechery. Giuseppe must love that. I have no time to lose, so I might as well not bother him. Satan summoning his legions. This is rather surprising for the decoration of a cardinal's room. This time, it'll be a lot quicker. If I remember rightly, the code was 1199. Of course. Weaknesses of the Human Psyche by Gilhelm Trimore. Gilhelm Trimore. Trimore. An anagram of Mortimer. Wow. Arrogant enough to publish writings on mental control. Full view of everyone. I wonder who he's writing for. Weaknesses of the Human Psyche by Gilhelm Trimore. Triangular trade organized by a demon. It makes me want to throw up. A map of the triangular trade organized by a demon. It makes me want to throw up. Mortimer's plan succeeds, the United States will indeed double in size. It would mean the end of the Spanish presence in North America. Map of Europe. Someone's written 26 million in France. It's the estimated population of France. Mortimer knows very well that France has a higher population than its neighbors. He's preparing for it to go to war and knows he can make it happen by stirring up the people. I'm standing in front of a lesson of absolute mastery in military strategy, which is absolutely spine-chilling if it turns out that Mortimer is a demon. Troops are directed towards Italy. I get the feeling that Piaggi is going to be in for a hard time. It's locked. Conference might be focused on the United States, but Mortimer has an eye everywhere, which is not very reassuring if he really is a demon. There. Those are the nails I was looking for. I noticed they were old and rusty, but I hadn't noticed these traces of... Could that be blood? Is it really the relic of the Holy Cross? I can hardly believe it. A symbol of power and stability. Temperance, which expresses a reward. And the chariot, that evokes triumph. If this hand is anything to go by, Mortimer's destiny promises to be glorious. Looks like obsidian or onyx. It must weigh a ton. What on earth could that be? Looks like obsidian or onyx. It must weigh a ton. What on earth could that be? Feathers. Pigeons, probably. Who could Mortimer have locked in there? A chest with a motif representing the alchemical symbol of fire. All right, come on. Let's get out of here. 6466, if I remember correctly. A painting. It looks unfinished. Piece by Lord Mortimer, I presume. A rather avant-garde technique. They tighten against men. How ironic. Which four-letter word could open this chest?
So, good. You've managed to gather all the keys.
Yes, that's right. I have everything. What should I start with?
Place the Clement III cross on the console. Then you have to put the nails on the disc of the door.
What theme did you start with?
As the fresco shows the birth of Christ, I placed one nail in Bethlehem, one in chapter 2, and one in verse 6. The iris opened a little. I thought it was normal. Behind the aperture of the iris, there is a duct in which I put my hand. I felt something like a valve at the bottom. I thought by turning it the door would open, or the iris would open completely, or something else would happen. Instead, I felt something like an axe cut off my hand. I really thought it was the end of me.
What did you do then?
Well, although I had made some unfortunate choices, I was lucky in that Mortimer was well stocked with drugs. I raided his supplies of medicine.
All right, my turn now.
Go ahead, impress me. I'll shut up and let you concentrate.
This exegesis contains comments from Judas on the different Gospels. It only contains certain chapters and verses, and the chapters are indicated by Roman numerals. The lexicon refers to different chapters and verses from the exegesis of Judas. The cycle of the moons has nothing to do with what I'm doing right now. The cycle of the moons has nothing to do with what I'm doing right now. The fresco clearly shows the birth of Christ.
Louis, I can assure you that that is not the solution to this enigma. This fresco's only purpose is to mislead. I know that now. Please, focus on another theme about Christ.
I'll have to trust her. I could see that the paint has come off in parts. Difficult to see what was there, but I can distinguish the letters N, R, I. Nothing more. of course. INRI. Jesus Nazarenus Rex Adorum. These initials stand for Jesus the Nazarene, King of the Jews. This is the inscription which appears on the cross at the crucifixion of Jesus. Yes, it's definitely a representation of the birth of Christ, but some of the details have flaked away. I can't see any other clues. One thing is for sure, this enigma deals with the life of Jesus, like my mother said. It looks like there are 3 types of inscriptions. Clearly, we have names of towns, Arabian numerals, and Roman numerals. These towns have one thing in common. They're all related to the life and death of Jesus. For example, Jordan is the place of the baptism of Christ. There are 3 styles of writing, and I've got 3 nails. There must be a link. I must surely put in 1 nail per category. It looks like there are 3 types of inscriptions. If Mortimer deliberately set a trap by showing the birth of Christ, then maybe the solution is the contrary. The death of Christ in that case? Chapter 2, verse 6. Jesus was born of Mary and Joseph on the 22nd of Tebeth at midnight, 3762, in the village of Bethlehem. Chapter 2, verse 6. And so it was that, while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered of a child. And she brought forth her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn. And there were in the same country shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were sore afraid. Chapter 2, verse 6. Jesus was born of Mary and Joseph on the 22nd of Tebeth at midnight, 3762, in the village of Bethlehem. The cycle of the moons has nothing to do with what I'm doing right now.
What hole should I put the nails in?
Well, I can't really advise you there, because I haven't exactly made the best choices myself. All I can say is that you have to insert 1 to choose a town, 1 to choose a chapter, and 1 to choose a verse. Those are Roman numerals on the disc.
Interesting.
Louis, you are doing what I've already done. I told you it wouldn't work. You need to find another subject than the birth of Christ.
Interesting.
Louis, you are doing what I've already done. I told you it wouldn't work. You need to find another subject than the birth of Christ.
During new moon, the moon is entirely in the shadow. Then, the shadow moves from west to east, meaning left to right, and goes through the following states. Waxing crescents, first quarter, waxing gibbous, full moon, waning gibbous, last quarter, waning crescent, and the cycle starts over with the full shadowed new moon. The moon shadow moves from west to east. '20th of Dhul al-Hajjah, 561, waning gibbous. Cross is stuck in the mechanism. I can't do anything. Chapter 2, verse 6. Jesus was born of Mary and Joseph on the 22nd of Teveth at midnight, 3762, in the village of Bethlehem. Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified. on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head. Chapter 19, verse 17. And he, bearing his cross, went forth into a place called the place of a skull, which is called in the Hebrew Golgotha, where they crucified him, and 2 others with him, on either side, and Jesus in the midst. Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head. Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head. Chapter 24, verse 3. Jesus rose from the dead on the 14th of Nisan, 3793, in Nazareth. He appeared with a halo above his head.
Works.
Well done, Lee. I haven't seen those other wheels. Try connecting the theme to see if it goes all the way.
If Mortimer deliberately set a trap by showing the birth of Christ, then maybe the solution is the contrary. The death of Christ in that case? It looks like there are 3 types of inscriptions. There must surely be a connection between the wheels. There are different icons on this wheel, but it looks like some of them can't be connected to the other wheels. Given the difference between the number of icons and the number of towns, I think that only one path connects all the wheels with one another. Let's try to connect the theme I've chosen with the rest.
Mother, what do you think?
As I told you, I didn't get that far. Nevertheless, these icons do represent moments in the life of Christ.
I think I can make out each one of the icons apart from the one covered in blood. Going clockwise from the one I just mentioned, we have the halo that represents the resurrection. The waves represent the baptism of Jesus. It's more difficult to identify the next one. Maybe a crib, and in that case it's surely linked to the birth of Christ. The red herring that my mother followed. Then, the symbol represents the crown of thorns that Jesus wore during his crucifixion. The dove also represents the baptism, certainly not red herring. Then comes the symbol of the Trinity,
And finally, the candle that must stand for the Last Supper.
This wheel contains several symbols made up of one or two figures and one letter. The highest figure does not exceed 31, and each letter corresponds to a month of the year. A for April, and M for March. I think these symbols must represent a specific date. This wheel represents the different moons. In the occult sciences, we represent the full moon by an X. As for the dark moon, called the new moon, in cults, it's often associated with something harmful. Look at this. There are notches between each of the wheels. So, I have to link the name of the town from the theme I've chosen to an icon, then to a date, and finally, the date to the moon. Works.
Well done, Louis. I haven't seen those other wheels. Try connecting the theme to see if it goes all the way.
Sixth of Rajab, 611, waxing crescent. Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head. Chapter 19, verse 17. And he, bearing his cross, went forth into a place called the place of a skull, which is called in the Hebrew Golgotha, where they crucified him, and two others with him, on either side, and Jesus in the midst. Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head. Chapter 24, verse 3. Jesus rose from the dead on the 14th of Nisan, 3793, in Nazareth. He appeared with a halo above his head. Chapter 2, verse 6. Jesus was born of Mary and Joseph on the 22nd of Teveth at midnight, 3762, in the village of Bethlehem. Let's see what combination corresponds to the chosen theme. Chapter 1, verse 9. Jesus was baptized by John in Jordan on the 9th of Hesvan, 3852. Chapter 1, verse 9. And it came to pass in those days that Jesus came from Nazareth of Galilee, and was baptized by John in Jordan. And coming up out of the water, he saw the heavens opened, and the Spirit like a dove descending upon him. Let's see what combination corresponds to the chosen theme. To follow the crucifixion theme, I should select the crown of thorns. According to the architect's notes in the armillary sphere, the moon during the crucifixion was a first quarter. That's the one with its left half in the light. Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head. Chapter 19, verse 17. And he, bearing his cross, went forth into a place called the place of a skull, which is called in the Hebrew Golgotha, where they crucified him, and two others with him, on either side, and Jesus in the midst. Chapter 5, verse 2. Jesus cures the sick and lame on the 8th of Adar, 3791, in Jerusalem, at the pool of Bethesda. All stand and fling away their canes. Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head. Chapter 19, verse 17. And he, bearing his cross, went forth into a place called the place of a skull, which is called in the Hebrew Golgotha, where they crucified him, and 2 others with him, on either side, and Jesus in the midst. Let's see what combination corresponds to the chosen theme. By following the clues in the Bibles and the architect's notes, the crucifixion took place on the 8th of Nisan 3793, according to the astronomers of that time. That would correspond to March 26th in the year 33 on a modern calendar. Let's see what combination corresponds to the chosen theme. To follow the crucifixion theme, I should select the crown of thorns. The According to the architect's notes in the armillary sphere, the moon during the crucifixion was a first quarter. That's the one with its left half in the light. Chapter 1, verse 9. Jesus was baptized by John in Jordan on the 9th of Hesvan, 3852. Chapter 14, verse 22. On the 7th of Nisan, 3793, Jesus shared his Last Supper in the Cenacle in Jerusalem. Chapter 14, verse 22. And as they did eat, Jesus took bread and blessed and broke it, and gave to them and said, "Take, eat. This is my body." And he took the cup, and when he'd given thanks, he gave it to them, and they all drank of it. Chapter 1, verse 9. Jesus was baptized by John in Jordan on the 9th of Hesvan, 3852. Chapter 5, verse 2. Jesus cures the sick and lame on the 8th of Adar, 3791, in Jerusalem, at the pool of Bethesda. All stand and fling away their canes. Chapter 5, verse 2. Now, there is at Jerusalem, by the sheep market, a pool, which is called, in the Hebrew tongue, Bethesda, having 5 porches. In these lay a great multitude of impotent folk, of the blind, halting, and withered, waiting for the moving of the water. Jesus saith unto him, Rise, take up thy bed, and walk. And immediately the man was made whole, and took up his bed, and walked. And on the same day was the Sabbath. Chapter 3, verse 18. Words truly pronounced in Abagash. Chapter 3, verse 18. He that believeth in him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already, because he hath not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God. Chapter 2, verse 6. Jesus was born of Mary and Joseph on the 22nd of Teveth at midnight, 3762, in the village of Bethlehem. Chapter 24, verse 3. Jesus rose from the dead on the 14th of Nisan, 3793, in Nazareth. He appeared with a halo above his head. Chapter 24, verse 3. But when they entered, they did not find the body of the Lord Jesus. While they were wondering about this, suddenly 2 men in clothes that gleamed like lightning stood beside them. In their fright, the women bowed down with their faces to the ground. But the men said to them, "Why do you look for the living among the dead? He is not here. He has risen. Remember how he told you while he was still with you in Galilee." Chapter 2, verse 2. Publius Sulpicius Quirinius was born in Lanuvium. Let's see what combination corresponds to the chosen theme. By following the clues in the Bibles in the architect's notes, the crucifixion took place on the 8th of Nisan 3793, according to the astronomers of that time. That would correspond to March 26th in the year 33 on a modern calendar. According to the architect's notes in the armillary sphere, the moon during the crucifixion was a first quarter. That's the one with its left half in the light. I can feel the lever at the bottom.
Good luck.